Welcome to Group Dates and Hot Takes. I'm Sampy.
I'm Christy.
Let's talk about Bachelor in Paradise. Welcome back, everybody. Episodes 4 and 5, Bachelor in Paradise, drama all around. Christy, where would you like to start this episode? Should we start with the sadness from last week as it bleeds over into this week?
I suppose we should. Rodney is sad that Teddy has departed.
Wow. Unbelievable. Yeah, Teddy gone. She just up and left.
Things must have been really bad for her to just leave.
I guess she just had a major crisis of conscience, perhaps, but yeah.
So now Rodney has no one to... I don't know why he didn't just pick someone else and go on the date.
Right, I was a little confused about that because his reasoning, and I do want to back up a smidge first, because Brandon decided to give Rodney a little bit of a pep talk and told him that he was the hottest commodity on this beach. What do you think about that?
I think he was just the most available.
Wow. Wow. I think that Rodney just has a good reputation.
Yeah, he's like a lovable figure.
And so everyone kind of wants a piece of him, at least at that brief moment in time. So back to the rationale. So I really didn't understand that because his reasoning, I guess, was that he didn't want somebody to feel like they were his second choice.
Yeah, but this is paradise. Like
any of those women would have jumped to go on a date.
Yeah, it looked like it was pretty late at that point, so I don't know if that was part of it.
Maybe, but he just. I didn't get that. Like Jill would have totally gone on that date with him. Lace would have totally gone on that date with him. But,
he and Lace decided kind of had their own, I guess, mini date on the island, or not island, but on the beach.
That was also very weird.
Yeah, I thought she seemed like she'd had a lot of alcohol.
What tipped you off? Was it the slurred speech? Was it just the swaying back and forth?
The whole demeanor, I guess. So they make out.
I gotta be honest with you. I don't really see this as a good match, personally.
Me either.
But
I don't think it's built to last.
Well, we'll see. We'll keep tabs on that for everyone. I was also you see Justin shock face that the making out is happening.
I think I missed that.
He has some good shocked faces. All right. Well,
so now we have Ashley and Jared footage.
Can we just stop for a moment and talk about this? Because I may be the only person in the world who feels this way. I don't know, but why?
Well, you're definitely not the only person. Twitter feels that way as well.
Oh, really? Why? I'm actually with Twitter here. Incredible. Yeah, I guess the cynical part of me sees the point of it, and the cynical part of me hates it. Because I don't know what your impression of this whole storyline is, but in my mind, I see it and go, oh, they wanted to bring these people in because the show had much better ratings when they were around, and everyone is losing faith in Bachelor Nation and becoming jaded and angry. And I'm not projecting. This isn't what I feel.
Is it?
I'm just saying people in general. And so I guess I see it as an attempt to be like, hey guys, occasionally this does work out, so don't give up on us.
I see that's not even completely accurate, because they didn't leave
Well,
Paradise.
to their story. Yeah.
They didn't leave Paradise together. When Wells retold the story of them about how they like dated in Paradise, and then Claire, which I totally forgot that Jared dated Claire at one point. And then like Ashley dated Daniel the Canadian, and then she dated Wells. And then he skipped to they got proposed to, like they had a proposal in Paradise, but there was a whole like thing of Ashley went on Bachelor Winter Games, dated this guy named Kevin. They left the show together.
Oh boy.
And then I guess things were kind of maybe rocky with her and Kevin, and then Jared and her kissed while she was like technically still with Kevin. So then that's how she and Jared got together, and then they finally came back to Paradise to get engaged.
I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but Ashley looks like a bit of an unstable Sandra Bullock.
I don't see that.
You don't see the facial resemblance and the smile and stuff? Unbelievable. I just... anyway.
I always found Ashley entertaining.
Well,
so like I didn't
seem like a train wreck.
It was great TV though. Even on like the Bachelor season, she was on Crystals this season. There was a lot of crying then too.
Seems like they probably had about 700 hours of footage of her crying.
But even with me liking Ashley and Jared, I still didn't understand like why there was so much time devoted to them.
Right. I didn't really. I don't know if this is just an attempt to be relatable. I just didn't understand specifically the whole Boom Boom Room storyline. Like, oh, we came into Paradise because, you know, we had a kid not too long ago, and, you know, the intimacy has been hard and all this stuff, and I'm just sitting there on my couch watching this going, aren't these people, like, pretty freaking wealthy? Like, why are you not just having sex in your own house? Like, why are you not
I don't know.
paying some poor woman $15 to watch your child for a couple hours? Like, what? It didn't make sense to me watching a couple like that.
I don't think it was supposed to make sense.
Well, it didn't.
Logically, I think it was just to fit in with the trope of new parents having trouble in that area, plus we need to shoehorn it into the Paradise model. So that there had to be some reason, quote unquote, to bring them to Paradise. So I guess that was the best they could come up with. Like, hey, these new parents need alone time. Even though, like, of course, they could just do that at home. But
I just
don't think this was thought through very well.
I didn't buy the storyline. I didn't.
And it just dragged too long. Because, like, they appeared last week in the third episode. And then we have both episodes this week. And I don't think they have officially left yet.
Oh, no.
So that's a lot of episodes.
That's a lot of screen time that we could be getting other things in during that screen time.
Very true. I mean, we had Boom Boom Room footage of Ashley farting.
Just farting, constant
which was funny. Well, we can move on to
Thank you.
Genevieve, Shanae, Aaron, and James arriving back from their date, which I didn't even realize they were not there all this time.
This is gonna cause some problems.
Yeah, so Genevieve talks to Justin. It is apparently now Justin's birthday.
I wanted to get your perspective on Genevieve's spiel on like not feeling the affection, not feeling love, not feeling pursued. Like there's this like laundry list of things that she kept bringing up, and not even just Justin context, but specifically with Justin. I don't know. It almost seemed like one of those kind of Bachelor cop out things where you have to have some sort of excuse in order to try to extricate yourself from somebody more gracefully. That was at least my impression, but I was just curious.
It could be. I mean, it seems like she really wants the physical affection, though. And so, I guess them kissing once in the morning was not good enough for her.
Which, this was perfect, okay? This was absolutely perfect, because during that whole kerfuffle, Justin's like, oh, all offended. We're counting kisses now?
I thought that was hilarious.
And yes, Justin, I am counting kisses. I've been counting kisses this whole time. I counted
Very
kisses
true.
this episode, last episode, all the episodes. Even if I forget to mention it in the episode, which has only happened once across many episodes, I should just say my success rate is very high. Even then, I still counted the kisses, even if I forgot to mention it. So, yeah, I am counting kisses.
Well, this Justin being like, we're counting kisses now didn't go over well with Genevieve at all.
No, but, like, but then, dun dun dun, despite all of that, they still make out.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, you want to kiss me on my birthday? And I guess she just is
that
swayed.
was her explanation. We didn't actually hear that, right? I didn't hear that.
I thought we did.
That was from her explanation to Aaron after the fact, that because he was feeling betrayed by her. I don't recall actually hearing that.
Oh, maybe not.
Now, I'm not saying that she's lying about that, mainly because and I'm going to put my tinfoil conspiracy hat on, but I would not at all be surprised if the producers told him to pull that. Be like, oh, it's my birthday, you should kiss me. Because isn't that... And I'm not sure if it's that specific one, but I thought it might be that specific one. Isn't that where then Aaron was watching from afar last season as he got betrayed the first time? And so, like, this whole thing was just giving him major PTSD from last season.
Oh, yeah. I think it was the same location.
That is the primary reason why I think that she was not lying about that, because I think it was all orchestrated to destroy Aaron.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was like in plain view of the whole thing with James also. The two of them are just watching.
Yeah.
So now Genevieve is confused and regretful.
Very regretful. Some serious buyer's remorse on that last kiss.
So she goes to like find Aaron, but Aaron is showering, and of course James is in there with him, ready to hand him body wash. So eventually he finishes and they talk. So Aaron wants to know why she would do that. His feelings are hurt. He's caught off guard. Feels like it was a tactic from Justin, which it probably was. So Genevieve apologizes, and eventually they make out. So
all is right with the world again. I mean, you do also have to remember that this is currently the women's time. The women have the roses.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't trust anything. Just like you couldn't trust anything last week or next week. You can't trust these people with roses. But even more so, you can't trust the people without roses. Because the people without roses want the people with roses, they want their roses. So you can't trust anybody. That's my big takeaway here.
I think that's right.
Oh.
So
yeah.
the next morning,
There's some major squeezing lemon into the wound here this next morning with Aaron being all lovey on Genevieve right in front of Justin.
oh, yeah, there was a really funny shot of like Justin that they zoomed in where you could just see him in the background.
Yeah.
We also learned that Ashley and Jared did not have sex that night.
I mean, are you surprised with... I mean, they probably both passed out from the fumes. If you're gonna go to town in Paradise with Mexican food and alcohol, you need to bring along some handy gas X. It's just... it's what you gotta do. Because otherwise you're in for some... I mean, she was ripping them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just still feel like... Because, well, I guess we should talk about Shanae and Logan real quick first.
Oh, yeah, what happened with them?
Oh, yeah, just that things are not going great. There's still the love triangle, and it's weird to me to watch Shanae not be overtly a terrible person.
Yeah, I've been wondering, which is the real Shanae? Is it the one on Paradise or is it the one on Clayton's season?
So, I'm going to be totally honest with you. Human beings are incredibly complex. No, what I really mean is, and want to say, is that I feel like it's possibly more likely that Bachelor in Paradise Shanae is real Shanae. I just think with the Bachelor seasons, and you feel free to disagree with me because you're more of an expert, but it seems like there's more incentive perhaps on the normal seasons, Bachelor, Bachelorette, to be a specific character than there is on Bachelor in Paradise. Like
Yeah,
if you're trying to be someone who gets good screen time and makes it far, it seems like it's more likely that you might play a character there. Versus Bachelor in Paradise is way more free flowing, and like no matter what, chances are you're gonna go home pretty soon anyways. So there isn't necessarily a huge amount of point in that. It's also possible that upon some self-reflection, she decided to mend her ways. But I do think that, and maybe I'm just a sucker for this, but I am currently buying Shanae 2.0. I never thought I'd say that, but here I am saying that. Yeah, so getting back to Shanae and Logan, essentially Shanae wants to feel pursued as well. Mm-hmm. And she feels like Logan is being a little lackluster in that department, which I don't know if I disagree with her here. It seems like he's been majorly pouting since she got back.
Yeah, he also just seems too chill. Like he's not...
Yeah, like he doesn't care.
He's not
he
putting
doesn't
in
care
any
enough.
effort. Yeah, too like relaxed.
Yeah. Which I don't know how much of that goes back to the pouting, or it's just he's like, oh, it's not worth it to get stressed out, but you really got to stay on top of things in paradise. Otherwise, you're in big doo-doo.
Yeah, you will be gone.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a conversation with Genevieve and Justin that morning, which I'm not really sure why they needed to talk again, but somehow Justin is still interested in Genevieve.
That didn't go well either.
Now, he says he didn't kiss Victoria out of respect for Genevieve, so he's now upset that Genevieve threw it in his face, kissing Aaron in front of him.
Mm-hmm. Still kind of a double standard after he went on his whole date and then was all shocked Pikachu face when she accepted somebody else's date.
I mean, these two just are not a good match.
I would agree. I don't know who, like, I don't know if Aaron's a good match for her either. We'll see going forward. It's just she spirals so quickly. Like,
true.
Real quick. Well, I guess we need to talk about the next pointless thing in the episode, which is, of course, giving our resident farty pants a date card.
This is pretty funny. Like, everyone all excited.
This is disturbing
to get a
me.
date card, and it's for them.
that again, I just feel like ABC's like, look, guys, it works. We'll give you some footage of these two lovely in love people with a baby. Remember, you could get married and have a baby if you're on this show. Look at it, see how this goes. But really, you're just siphoning off screen time. Unbelievable.
I know, I was not expecting this, but they go, I guess, to a section of the beach that is meaningful to them.
Right. They ATV'd on that section of the beach. Whoa. What a memory.
And then we have this moment, which I thought was so funny, with Ashley peeing in the ocean, but not very far in.
I absolutely hated this. Hated it. Okay, I'm not a prude by any means whatsoever, but this was the most psychotic, demented way of peeing in the ocean or any other body of water that I have ever seen in my entire life. Okay, what kind of, like, how do you go about it in that way? Okay, in case some of you did not see this episode, let me just paint you a little picture, okay? This woman, in her, little beach pants and whatever, walks down to the shoreline, barely into water. Like, she's not actually in the water, just the tide gently laps up to her.
It's like a stew at that point.
Every so often. Like, it's just the froth. It isn't even any water at that point. It's just froth. And she sits down, does not remove any articles of clothing, and just sits there and pees in the froth. What the crap? You're getting none of the benefits of peeing in the ocean, really.
No, you're just basically peeing your pants at that point.
Right, you're just peeing your pants. Like, I mean, I would even see a little bit more of an argument for going out into the water, like up to your waist or whatever, and peeing yourself. Like, even that's better. Or just wading out until it's above your waist, pulling your pants down, and peeing. Like, what? I could not believe this.
It was so funny to me.
Like, it just seems like all of the downsides of peeing yourself and none of the upsides of peeing in the ocean. Like, why didn't she just pee herself standing up then? Like,
I don't know.
if she's just gonna
It
pee
was very
herself.
strange.
Well, okay, I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. Okay.
Well, then they had a nice conversation just reflecting on, everything in the past 7 years and parenthood and marriage. I mean, that part was nice to watch, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, they had a nice conversation and they both started crying because it's all so emotional.
Yeah.
Well, can we talk about beach football instead?
That was fun, too. Casey and Michael are basically like the commentators, roasting everyone.
Oh, yeah, because they're both ancient in Bachelor terms.
I know. 38 is just so old.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Real old. Yeah, there was a lot of people not very good at throwing and catching footballs.
Yeah, I would imagine it's hard when you're running through soggy sand.
Just a little bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit, but yeah, a lot of talking crap about everybody. Like, whoa, look at you.
What about James? They said only here because you know Aaron.
I know. That was very funny. I mean, partially true, probably. We'll see. So, I feel like now is the beginning of the sad part of the episode. Sierra and Michael.
Yeah, we had a little precursor to what was going to come later with Michael talking with Wells.
Yeah, he's having a rough time. And, I mean, do you blame him?
I mean, I don't... He said stuff about, like, oh, she's creating scenarios of being a stepmom, but, like, that's kind of what she has to do if they're going to be together. I just was confused why all of a sudden he's like, oh, this is too much.
I think, at least from what he was saying, he seemed to be concerned that things were moving too fast. Which, I mean, this is Bachelor in Paradise.
Things have to.
You gotta move fast.
There's also, like, other stuff I know that's, like, coloring my perspective of this, so I'm just a little confused in general.
When are you gonna be able to tell me?
Not anytime soon.
What? Seriously? Unbelievable. We were going to find out in a few episodes that some new woman came in and Michael married her immediately. I don't know. Yeah, it's just I
feel like he's coming up with an excuse to dump her. It's like if you don't want to be with her, that's fine, but the excuse he gave and the reasons were just a little puzzling to me.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, the 13, 14 year age gap is a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
one of them, and I don't know. It's just I've always been a little bit confused about this relationship, and I've always been a bit confused, and this goes back to, we always talk about this, people coming on Bachelor Nation shows who probably should not be on Bachelor Nation shows. That's what it feels like to me for Michael, because it's like, dude, you've had this serious trauma in your life, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get over it and all this, but you don't just get over something like that. And I have a hard time believing that Bachelor in Paradise is the most helpful forum and circumstance in order to work past that and find new love for a 39-year-old widower with a young kid, when your average Bachelor in Paradise person is going to skew more towards like Johnny.
Mid-20s type of thing.
Well, but also different, like, I'm saying Johnny in like personality too, of like, this isn't a hugely serious thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Strange. I like him, but sometimes I question his decision making. All right, well, we're not going to be sad forever, okay? We get to talk about some happy things now before we get back to the sad.
Yeah, but before that, James had found a date card and it was for Brandon. So, of course, he asked Serene.
Right, that is what I am talking about. They get to go on a date. How nice. Walk me through it.
Brandon is blown away by Serene's outfit while everyone looks on.
So, I guess this is a good place to bring this up. I don't think you necessarily fully agree with me, but I think that she's a very different person, obviously, but I think that Serene's smile is very similar to Michelle's smile.
I could kind of see that, maybe.
And I wonder if that's influenced things.
I mean, Serena and Michelle are also very different people, though, like in terms of like personality and stuff.
I know. I acknowledged that. But the smiles. You don't get over a smile. Yeah, sorry. Walk me through this date.
Well, they go to dinner in what has become a very standard Paradise date with the dinner table in the middle of a pool.
At least they didn't have to get in a margarita hot tub.
So, basically, it's a love fest.
Yeah, they
the
are
whole
so
time
stoked.
for each other.
They
Yeah,
just can't believe it. They're so fortunate.
I mean, Serene talked about how, like, oh, it's really special when you grab me lunch, when you get lunch for yourself, too.
I know. That. So
I guess there's not really much to do in the island.
I was just cracking up with this specifically because they're talking about their relationship in the context of these things that, like these considerate things and so forth that you think of as being like, really, they are really healthy for a relationship, but they were sort of framing it as if it's like, oh yeah, you just always get me lunch and all this stuff, like they've been married for 15 years. It's like, you've been in a relationship for 3 days. That's 3 lunches. And maybe not even 3 lunches because you probably got together in the afternoon after lunch on one of the days, on the first day. So
yeah, there's always a lot more weight like attached to everything they say when you look at the days and it's like, wait.
Right, because everything is super accelerated, and also I think just the fact that I think you almost have to assign so much weight to things. One, because I think most of the time it is fairly boring.
Yeah, you're just laying around all day.
Right. And then also, 2, you have to have some sort of rationalization in your mind that this could actually work. Because most people wouldn't get engaged to somebody after the other person got them lunch for a couple days in the real world. So, just saying. Well, should we get back to the sad?
Well, they do say that they're falling in love with each other.
Right, which is why they get the fireworks. Gotta get the fireworks.
Oh, did they have fireworks?
I believe so. I wrote down that there were fireworks. Maybe it was love fireworks, but I thought it was a real fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, she says she has never seen that look in someone's eyes before when she was walking up to him.
It always makes me sad to hear that from people.
I still think they talked before because
Before the show.
Yeah, probably some DM sliding.
You think things are progressing too quickly?
I mean, just the way he entered the beach and literally zeroed in on her and her alone. And
Look,
nobody else.
they get an idea of who's coming, and they get to say who they're interested in. It could be totally legitimate. No funny business. You don't buy that, huh?
Not really.
No. Well, you are the expert, so I'll defer to you on this one. All right, now back to the sadness. So, stargazing.
Yeah, she, I guess, bought or assigned stars for him and his family.
Yeah, you can basically just go online and, I'm putting this in air quotes, buy a star or name a star, really, which, of course, is incredibly silly. but I'll allow it as a kind and thoughtful gesture.
Yeah.
So keep on going. What's going on here?
Basically, he dumps her after this the stargazing gift. He's like, oh, some things take time. Can't put my finger on it, but there's something missing.
The reality is, he just can't bring himself to be with someone who would spend money on something as stupid as naming a star. I'm kidding. Totally kidding. That's a perfect way to commemorate things and events and people that you love in your life.
It's also pretty cruel that, the producers, of course, know how Michael is feeling, and yet they convince Sierra to go along with this, knowing she's about to get dumped right after.
Right. I'm sure they were like, oh, Michael would really appreciate if you just kind of took an evening and went a little bit above and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
We found this promo for a Mogo star naming, so you could name a star after Michael and after his child, all for one low price. And then, boom, she gets hit with it after spending $29.99 on a couple stars. So sad.
So, yeah, Michael just wants to be friends, and Sierra at this point decides to go home because she doesn't want to watch Michael date anyone else. And she doesn't want to date anyone else either.
Yeah, I mean, she specifically was there for him, wasn't she? Or am I misremembering?
I don't remember from the beginning, but once again, there's more men coming. You have the power this week. But I guess if it's too painful to watch Michael date someone, then might as well leave. But for me, I don't think I would have.
You're like, I would have given my rose to somebody else.
I mean, who knows? Michael might go home since he doesn't have someone right now. So
he might. I guess part of me wonders why he didn't just leave. Because it seems like his concerns, if he's being honest about them, are pretty universal in terms of being true for pretty much anybody that he would date on Bachelor in Paradise. So if he couldn't find it in himself to make things work with Sierra, I don't know. I personally feel like it's a little weird that he didn't just go home after that, given what his objections had been.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll have more to say later.
Because okay, so you guys seemed to have a really great connection, and she was an old soul, and she was all this stuff, and you really gonna find somebody who's any better and addresses your concerns, out of the rest of the 26-year-old people on the beach. A little weird. I hope you're not gonna tell me about some sort of abusive relationship or Michael in blackface or something in a few weeks.
No.
Yeah, we haven't had a blackface scandal for this season of The Bachelor yet.
Let's hope that stays that way.
I feel like that's happened a lot in recent seasons. Well, do you have anything else for?
Only there was
episode
just
4?
a couple things. Ashley and Jared return. Jared goes to the room and falls asleep. So once again, no fun times for them. And then the tag at the end of the episode where Genevieve and Shanae are now friends, which I did not see coming.
Yeah, they've worked out their beef.
Yep.
It really was a hideous wedgie in that women tell all though from Shanae. It was just very unflattering.
Yeah, that was odd looking. She said she had like a onesie on underneath or something.
Why? Why would you make things even more difficult for yourself going to pee?
Oh, well, yes, that's why I don't wear styles like that.
Wow. You always have to be able to pee at a moment's notice.
Yeah, well, that's all I had for episode 4.
Okie dokie. Let's go about episode 5. I didn't really pay much attention this episode, so
I thought episode 5 was actually a lot more entertaining than episode 4.
Perhaps.
We start off with Sally entering, finally not just her suitcase.
This has gone on too long.
I know. So she said she missed 3 flights. She had to get some work things settled, I
Work
guess.
things settled, a.k.a. a few last times of sex with her ex.
So this is probably a good time to bring up what Reality Steve said really happened with the Sally thing. So he said a producer did go to South Carolina to get her. He's not sure why that was necessary. And a guy did answer her door, but it was her male roommate, not her ex. The roommate said she wasn't available, but it was because of a work call, not explosive diarrhea, as Wells said.
I mean, gotta ham it up.
Apparently she did need to talk to her ex, but it was because they have a business relationship, because I guess she works with them, which she did say on the episode. So the producer did take Sally to her ex's and waited in the car, not in the trunk, for 4 hours, because that part was like obviously not true. So then they went to the airport. After checking her 2 bags, she got a work call. Her job is something to do with machines that control spinal surgeries. So like actually like maybe an important job. And so that's why she was needed for a procedure that day. That's why she couldn't leave. So she couldn't go to Mexico that day. Bags were checked. So I guess the producer took Sally's main bag from baggage claim. When it landed, the second bag got sent back to South Carolina. So it was just like this whole convoluted mess.
I don't know. It seems like I don't know. I guess it's gotta be tough being in business with your ex.
Yeah, that's complicated.
Like how they just run a spinal surgery machine company? Like what?
I don't know what the relationship is, how they're connected work-wise, but
it's all very strange.
Yeah, the whole thing, I mean, basically once she gets down to the beach, Genevieve and Shanae gang up on her, which I did not appreciate.
Yeah, there was a bit of bullying there. A little bit of return to Shanae 1.0.
Yeah, and she drugged Genevieve down with her, so...
Yeah.
I mean, Justin is happy to see Sally, because apparently they kissed at Stagecoach. Honestly, Stagecoach, there's so much stuff that goes on there that should really be filmed and aired, I feel like.
You mean specifically with
Bachelor, yes.
Why did Bachelor people go to Stagecoach?
I don't know. I guess it's the place to be for influencers. But
that's real weird. He was also very happy to see her because he is without a rose currently.
yeah. So this is his lifeline.
Oh, and he clung so desperately to it.
Unfortunately for him, Sally is too upset by all the questioning from the girls and leaves.
Can we talk about that for a sec? What?
About her leaving?
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah, I would have stayed.
I guess I don't understand this person. Like, from her 2 seconds on Clayton's season to her 2 seconds on this season. Like, what's going on with this woman?
I don't know. You flew all the way to Mexico and you leave promptly when the women have the power. So you could literally pick someone like Justin and then make it to next week and go from there. Unless she really just didn't want to be there and just went to get her bag back.
But that's the thing, is I don't totally believe that was even her bag.
Well, if that bag that they had on the show with the name tag, that might not have been her bag, but apparently there was a bag of hers that made it to Mexico. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't fly to another country to retrieve some clothing. I'd be like, you're mailing this back to me if I didn't actually want to go. So it's just strange. It just seems she's very flighty.
Yeah, there's too many people leaving this season.
Yeah, we've had this is the third woman who's self-eliminated now this season so far.
Yep.
Yes, and the men are a little bit stressed about that, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, because there's an imbalance. 12 guys, 7 girls before Sally entered.
Mm-hmm. And after Sally entered.
Yes. Yeah, the whole Sally thing was over pretty quickly.
Which, again, guys are stressing out. They need new women, and what do we get instead?
Another man.
Oh, but this isn't just another man. Who is this, Chrissy?
This is the Pizza King, the self-proclaimed Pizza King.
Pizza Pete.
You know, I've never liked Peter very much, and my opinion of him plummeted even more this episode.
See, my opinion of him, it had nowhere to plummet to. It had already done all the plummeting it could.
Well, for me, it sunk further.
Okay.
Because he just keeps talking about his pizza business.
Yeah, if people don't remember who this man is, this is the man who every word out of his mouth is related in some way to pizza or his pizza business. Because he's an entrepreneur, a pizzapreneur. Ugh. That makes me want to vomit. But anyway, he has a chain of independent pizzerias in Florida. And let me tell you, he is kind of a big deal. He is super important. And yeah, that's really all you need to know. And he gets a date card, but will he find anybody to take him up on it?
No, he's managing to turn off everyone he talks to. Except for Brittany.
I love how he talked to Shanae, and Shanae was just like, "That's gonna be a no from me."
Yep, same for Victoria.
Yeah, he probably needed to talk about Victoria more if he was gonna get a date with her. But yeah, he managed to fool Brittany for a hot sec there.
I loved how Casey said he only has one volume setting on his remote control.
Yeah, Casey is. I mean, they were on the same season together. Casey does not like Peter,
Not at all
whatsoever. I made a note here. Did somebody pay Brittany $1 million to go on this date?
I didn't understand why she initially was like, oh, he seems interesting. Or
well,
whatever.
I guess I don't think she has anything else going on, really, right?
Probably true.
So I guess she just was like,
Screw it. But she comes to regret that decision.
Mm-hmm. Do you agree with Casey? Casey thinks that Peter is a D-bag.
I mean, he's not my favorite, that's for sure.
Christy is doing her darndest not to get demonetized. He's just like, I think actually Brittany said this later, but like essentially he's a person. He's just not my person.
That's a very nice diplomatic way of saying that.
So they go on a yacht.
Yep, and Peter spends the entire time talking about his pizza once again. Brittany is losing interest faster and faster.
Did you catch this from Peter? My biggest phobia in life is not living life.
That's so eloquent.
Oh my word. Oh, that's so deep.
I know.
So deep. Yeah, I mean,
And then they jump in the water. And then we had this really weird moment where like they cut out all the audio.
they didn't I don't think they didn't cut it out. It's just they had a garbage camera for recording sound in the water, because they what I assume happened is they just put a GoPro in a plastic case and dropped it in the water. So they didn't mute it, because you could hear them a little bit at times, and you could actually tell what they were saying.
I couldn't make out anything they were. It almost looked like. Well, I was gonna ask, how did they even know what they were saying? Because it was so.
Well, because you had, I'm assuming, a producer went with them, so you had the producer in the water, so the producer just transcribed it. Human ears would have been able to pick it up fine. It's just this camera in a waterproof box. Not so much. He's just he's not a smooth person, and he thinks he is. And
he keeps bragging too. Like, he talked about how he just bought a jet ski and.
Right, he's the type of person that I would not enjoy spending time with. but specifically, like, he strikes me as the type of person who is very much into appearing as flashy as possible.
Yes.
Like, he's the type of person I could see recording some sort of like investment course or something that you always see those advertised heavily on YouTube, where it's like this guy who's allegedly a guru at something standing in front of a Lamborghini like, oh, my riches could be yours as long as you pay me a bunch of money to watch my course. Like, that's the type of vibe. Like, it's very I don't know, like shawarma, like very like kind of oily type, which is so appropriate given his pizza status. But just that, like, essentially that the flash is what is important. I mean, even when he was talking with Shanae, he's like, oh, I like your gold. Yeah, I got gold too. And like, this is like X carat white gold and diamonds and like all this stuff. And it just doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of substance beyond that.
We also had this moment where he thinks they're vibing, and so he leans in for a kiss. And Brittany has another epic swerve.
Poor Brittany is just having to dodge left and right.
She like tries to like be nice. Yeah, I'm slow with that type of stuff. Not, I don't like you at all.
Spoiler alert, everyone. Spoiler alert. She doesn't move slow. She just hates him.
Yep. We have more ITMs of Casey hating on Peter.
Oh, so funny though.
I know.
I was like, yeah, what do you bet he is talking about pizza right now?
Cut to Peter talking about pizza.
You know the other thing? I think this was before the date, but do you remember when Pete got all upset because somebody brought out this little pizza for everybody and it had pineapple on it? And he got like mega upset.
Yes, he was very annoyed.
Oh my word. What a freaking maniac.
So later that night, Serene finds a date card for Jacob. He takes Jill.
Yeah.
And then Peter and Brittany return, not walking hand in hand.
No. Very much separate entities.
I think people on the beach start to pick up. This didn't go well.
Absolutely. I was laughing so hard because people are obviously trying to get the scoop on everything. And Brittany's with some people, and they're like, "Oh, how did he?" She's like, "I don't want to say in front of him." And they're like, "That bad, huh?"
I know. Ashley asked her, "Did she have a miserable time?"
Oh no!
So then she walks away with like Ashley and I think 3 other women, and says, "I don't want to feel ungrateful, but I was really uncomfortable. Can't remember much of what he said." Apparently, one of the things when they were in the water, where we didn't like actually hear the audio.
I got that because I have a hearing of an eagle or an owl.
But apparently, he asked her like, "What's the first thing you noticed about me?" And she said his eyes, and he goes, "That's it." Like, talk about fishing for compliments.
Oh my word! That is hilarious. So, what did you think about Peter explaining his side of the date?
Well, this is where it plummeted even further for me.
This was also hilarious because I loved that Casey went along for this and then just kept feeding leading questions to get more
digging his hole
to get more enjoyment out of it.
But apparently, Peter thinks her intentions are not to find a genuine connection. She might have an ulterior motive.
Right. So essentially what he's saying here and what he's accusing her of is he's accusing her of being some sort of like Instagram hoe. Like somebody just
the audacity.
Just getting close. Which I said, this is so rich coming from the pizza hoe.
I know. He said, "Do I not have a following enough for you?" So there we have the whole Instagram follower conundrum we had from last season. Just everybody comparing numbers.
Well, I think, I don't know. I had a hard time watching this because it was very, very toxic because he was essentially being incredibly, massively entitled.
Yes.
And as what I was saying, like it's all about the flash for him. And so in his mind, the only way it wouldn't work is that she's like after the flash of her own. But he like goes there because that's all that's important to him. At least is what it seems like to me.
He also didn't like being rejected from the kiss, and so he's like
Right,
now
he
all
took-
offended.
He
And
took that personally, but then this as another layer of that like gross thing. But he was talking about how he always like back in Florida, on the weekends, he and the boys he go out and rent a yacht and have a great time. And he's talking about how like if he was back home and he took a girl out on a yacht, they'd totally be hooking up now. And it's like, what is wrong? The
He's
massive
just terrible.
the massive entitlement.
also, like in his ITM, he's like, I was witty, I was smart, charming,
No,
humble.
You were none of those things. You were none of those things.
Just such a lack of self-awareness also. So, thankfully, we move on from Peter. And,
Are you sure it's thankfully?
I mean, it was entertaining, but man, it was also a little hard to watch.
Yeah, so we get to go to the Jacob and Jill date.
Oh, wait, one thing before that. Andrew throws out a lifeline to Brittany, hoping that that'll save him. So they make out.
Yeah, which again, she didn't avoid his kiss.
No, in fact, she was the initiator, I think.
Oh, absolutely. She went after that kiss, but that's what I'm saying is she didn't avoid Peter's kiss or Romeo's kiss because she moved slowly. She avoided them because they were dirtbags. Yeah, that was some making out. Let's not talk about it. Let's move on
back
to
to
the
Jacob
negative.
and Jill.
Ugh.
I mean, is this any better for you?
No, it's worse. It's worse, honestly.
So they walk down the beach and they meet. Did she say her name was Medium?
She may have said she was a medium. I don't know.
I was confused by that, but they meet this lady, which we've seen this sort of date a lot on these shows, like sort of ceremonial.
It's also strange to me because I feel like they probably should be getting canceled for this. Like, I'm not totally sure, but also like maybe because it's always weird because it's always this combination, it feels like, of they like bring in this tribal healer or something and like go through this thing that's probably has like a sacred version of it. Like there's all these things and in this case, like this woman was bringing up like tantric breathing, which is like a Hindu thing from India. Like it
always feels a little bit sacrilegious to whatever culture it's from.
Right.
But yeah.
Right, it's a full moon ceremony to
so
really
there's
align their energies or whatever.
It's a lot of creative and sexual energy.
Oh.
So then we have the tantric breathing, like you mentioned, and then like they start howling, which was real weird.
And they got to play around with some crystals. That was super fun.
And they rubbed oil all over themselves, which when you add in the high humidity of Mexico was a strange look.
Yeah, you could tell that like their ITMs were from the end because they were all lathered up.
Yeah, when it first came on, I was like, what is going on with them? Why are they so sweaty? But it was oil. Mm-hmm. So then she asked them if they want to get naked. Which, like, who couldn't have seen that coming?
They're like, yeah, let's do it.
Of course.
Jill scares me a little bit.
Yeah, she keeps yelling, like, all the time.
I think the word you're looking for is screaming.
Yeah, that too. Like,
that's your takeaway. Is it that the yell, the loudness scares you?
Well, she just all of a sudden just like she'll be talking and then she'll just break into a yell like on the spot.
Look, some people are higher energy. It seems to work for them. So, you know,
Yes.
what are you going to do? What are you
I
going to
thought
say?
it was really funny that when they agreed to get naked, they like walk behind this like partition to disrobe. Like, you're about to be naked anyway.
Yeah, it's very strange. I guess they wanted a little bit more ceremony to it. But
So they can just both have the moment where they walk out
right,
and
and they
see each other naked.
Whoa.
And then like when Jacob walks out, the like medium lady just like kind of averts her eyes.
Yeah, she kind of looked like she was trying not to laugh.
Yeah, because
there.
this is a ridiculous thing.
I also kind of felt like either he had a very large pee-pee or a very small pee-pee to elicit that response. But I'm probably reading into that.
I think I saw someone on Twitter say that too. So you're not the only one who had that thought.
I should cleanse my mind. So they had to stand there naked, back to back. I thought it was going in a bad direction for a little bit because I guess I misunderstood what the lady was asking them. I thought that she was asking them like more generally, what do you like about the other person? But I guess what she asked was like, what part of their body do you like? And because Jacob was standing there like hemming and hawing for a really awkward amount of time. And I was like, bro, you can't think of anything you like about her? That's what I thought was going on. And then he came out with butt. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't catch what.
Because then Jill said that she really likes his arms. Mm-hmm. So I was like, whew. I thought that was headed in a
I just
in a
thought it was
direction.
funny that he picked the thing he was touching at the moment.
Well, of course. I'm sure if they had been hugging, he would have been like, boobs. You know how guys are. Guys are gross.
What? This was such a weird date. So then they both say they're ready to fall in love.
Well, because that's the question the facilitator has to ask.
Which of course you have to say.
Are you
yes.
Are you ready for love? Yes, I'm ready for love. I want it so bad.
And then they like get into separate tubs that are like pushed together, which looked cloudy to me, but it was probably all the oil they had on themselves.
Well, there are probably other spiritually cleansing and aligning ointments and stuff in there. I don't know. I'm sure they wouldn't put them in tubs without spiritually cleansing ointments. Come on. Let's be real here. So this went very well. They're pretty crazy for each other at the moment.
Next thing we see, it is now Serene's birthday. What is this, the third or fourth birthday we've had?
At least 700.
So Brandon convinced the rest of the cast to sing happy birthday to her and brought her a cake.
Right, because Serene has some past trauma regarding birthdays and not feeling loved and everything. So he decided to make her feel seen and appreciated.
Yeah, which she did appreciate.
Yeah, she did. Their connection continues to grow.
So the next thing is Logan decides to get off his butt and actually do something for Shanae.
Surprise, surprise. He's not giving up fully quite yet.
So he plans this treasure hunt sort of thing with a snorkel in the pool.
Which is funny. Why am I not like hearing this from Logan surprised me less than maybe it should have, but I was not totally surprised that he used to be a snorkel tour guide. That just seems like something Logan would do. Just seems like him. But yeah, had to go find a wine bottle that he had thrown in the pool with a special surprise inside, which was, I guess, his lucky bracelet.
Yeah, which he gave to Shanae, and that was enough for her to.
She's like, oh, he does care about
I know.
me.
They made out.
Yeah. Oh, you love to see it. Love winning
Yeah,
out.
so
in the
now
end.
she is torn between Logan and James.
Yes.
I just blanked on the second person's name.
Yes. James. James. How could you forget lovely, wonderful James? Unbelievable.
So at this point, more Ashley and Jared footage.
I didn't even write any notes
We
about
are
that because I didn't care.
led to believe they finally had sex.
Yes, that is what we are led to believe.
So good for them. So Jacob and Jill return from their howling date, and
Dun, dun, dun.
we have a returnee.
Mm-hmm.
Kira is apparently still in Mexico.
Kira returns to mess with Jill once again.
She has unfinished business.
Oh,
And
man.
so she steals Jacob and says she was blindsided when he didn't give her his rose. Can't get him out of my mind. Still have feelings for you. You felt like home to me.
What an idiot. I gotta say. I gotta say it. For even entertaining this.
I know. He should have shut this down very quickly.
Like, what incarnation? Because what do you have if you're Jacob? And I know this is a bit of a cynical take, but like, what do you even have to gain from that, right? Because she's coming back. She came back, but as far as I know, like, it's not like she was technically added back to the show. Like, they didn't give her a rose.
Yeah, I don't know what was supposed to happen there. If Jacob had been like, yeah, I want to keep going with you, like, did they leave?
He would have had to leave with her.
Yeah, I don't know. He just talked with her for entirely too long while Jill is just sitting there.
Yeah, watching from the distance.
Stewing.
Getting close to screaming again.
Mm-hmm. But she finally just is like, I'm going to bed.
Which is also funny. She stomps away. I don't care. It's like,
Yes, you
lady,
do.
you care so freaking much.
And then Brittany comes in to save the day.
I gotta say, Jill owes Brittany so freaking much. She owes her everything. If Brittany had not come, and I mean, everybody who watched this should know, but if she had not gone to Jacob and Kira and been like, Jacob, what the crap are you doing? Like,
You're
Jill
being an
left
idiot.
super upset. You're being a moron. What are you doing? Like, the two of them probably would have kept on talking for the rest of the night, and
Yeah.
who knows what would have happened.
Kira would have weaseled her way back in.
Right. She would have been like, oh, I don't know. How did my shirt come off? Whoa. I don't know. Where did these boobs come from?
I mean, she's done it before with the whole Jane costume thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Jacob, I guess, realizes his mistake.
Yeah. This is so funny, him trying to back out of that. He's like, yeah, I just don't really see I don't think really had a connection.
No, it was never going to work out.
No,
I wish you the best.
It was never going to work out. I wish you the best. I got to go comfort Jill. Bye. That was not the most smooth exit.
No,
but it was very funny.
It got the job done. So Jacob apologizes.
Mm-hmm. He goes and comforts Jill, and they're okay once again.
Yep.
Order is restored to the universe thanks to Brittany. Brittany
is great.
Yeah, I gotta say too, and I mean he's entirely ridiculous. So obviously, like there's really no basis in reality to him. But that's part of why it was also super ridiculous. Him accusing Brittany of being like this influencer who's just trying to be here for clout, is like she has not seemed to go out of her way for screen time, for drama. She's just existing and living her best life and all this stuff, and is probably the best person on this beach.
I know, she seems great. And then we had what I thought was the funniest ending.
What an ending.
So now Kira needs somebody else to latch onto.
Mm-hmm.
Since Jacob rejected her. And so she chats with Romeo. And...
Well, didn't Romeo go after her?
I think he, like... I don't know, were they walking close to each other or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, I thought she kind of went to leave again, and he went up to her, which was an amateur mistake.
Yeah, I don't know why he did this, but yeah, Kira talks about how Romeo has always accepted her for who she is. She asks him, did he make the right decision?
He did.
I mean, I don't know if it was really the right decision.
Well, okay.
Jill ditched him right after, so.
Well, yeah, but I feel like it was the right decision, even if it wasn't going to work out for him. I saw that as being him trying to make amends, not expecting things to work out with her.
That's true. So he says he should have made a different decision. And then she asks if he would leave paradise with her tonight.
All right, which the amount of time he took to answer this.
So funny. He just stood there while she's got this like expectant smile on her face.
Oh, it was so long.
Painfully long. And then finally he like agrees. Like sort of reluctantly, but like still smiling. And then they
I mean, let's be real. He probably doesn't have much of a future on the show. Is so
too many guys left.
So male dominated right now.
I feel like you could, during that long pause, you could see him running all the scenarios through his head.
Right. It's like, okay, what is this percentage chance that tomorrow morning, before the rose ceremony in the evening, there's enough women that I can get a rose?
Yeah, I think he ran through each of the, what is it?
Yeah,
there's seven women here.
Every single one of the women, also running through the possibility with any women who might show up.
Yeah, I think he was like, you know what? This is probably my best bet.
I mean, you could tell he was doing the calculations because it took a long time.
Yeah, there was enough time for him to run through all 7 women in his head. And so then we see like this hilarious little interview with the two of them like arm in arm next to each other. He has like the most deer in the headlights, happy, scared look on his face.
It was the most terrified smile I've ever seen in my entire life. And she's talking about how excited she is and how great they are and everything. And he's just like he knows that he just joined a horror movie.
We were both dying laughing. It's so funny.
It essentially boiled down to that moment in a horror movie when one of the people realizes who the killer is and the killer is locked in a room with them.
Yes.
that was the exact facial expression, like, oh no,
what have I done?
But also tried to like
put on a brave face.
Don't let them know that I realized that you killed my whole family. Yeah, I bet the internet got a kick out of that.
Yes.
Oh, man. Well, anything you want to talk about with the end tag?
I don't remember what the tag was.
I don't either. Probably wasn't worth mentioning. Well, I guess that's the end then.
Yep.
So we have, another 13 or 11 episodes left? It
runs until the week of Thanksgiving.
What?
No joke.
My goodness. Well,
Insane.
I'm gonna need to gird my loins here. It's gonna be a long winter. Ah. All right. Well, Justin, I counted the kisses again. And we had 35.
Wow. That's a lot.
Uh-huh.
Although it is 2 episodes, so.
Yeah, really less than I would actually expect, but also more than I would expect because they used all of their time to show footage of Ashley and Jared instead of people kissing. So I'm not upset about it. I'm just disappointed. Mm-hmm. Christy, how can people get in contact with us?
You can email us at groupdatespod@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter and Instagram at groupdatespodcast.
Yeah, smash that like button, smash that bell. Are you scared yet?
Don't want to turn into Jill.
Don't you worry. There's very little chance of that happening. Well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will be back tomorrow for Married at First Sight. Are you excited, Christy?
Yep.
I'm excited.